All right, folks. There's been a lot of videos going around that I've been watching about these strange sounds that people are hearing. And I've seen them one after another. And as I listen to these things, I've been noticing not only a similarity, but it's like I've heard them before. So, anyway, most people don't know I'm a music producer and a musician, and I use a lot of recording tools, including sound effect loops, etc., etc. So anyway, there was a compilation video. Now, I'm not going to capture any of that video other than the audio because I don't feel like playing copyright business because, all the people that want this to be the heralding trumpets of the entry of the end of the world, I'll get flagged for some kind of copyright BS. So since these audio sounds are actually loops and I own I have licenses for all these, I can actually run this in audio form. Now I'm going to show you how all this works. Now we're going to forget the video. Let's just, if I want to do a video and put the sound of the end of the world on it, basically, you just go out and shoot a video clip and just have everybody, look up. Wow, what if that's what they're doing. But, I'm just, what I'm going to present here is an alternate version of what it sounds like's happened to me, just simply because I've heard these sounds before, and I've also located these sounds in my Sony Loops library. So I'm going to play some of the sounds as they have been coming out over the web, so we got a comparison. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to record them on a track. So I'll start my track recording here now, and you see me running my mouth right there in the waves. So I'm going to start this and we'll listen. A little dead air here while it winds up. Okay, so here we go. So let's pause this, and we'll move up in the bid a little bit and get some of the other ones here. But first of all, that doesn't even sound like part of the camera's audio matrix. The tonalities are different, and I can hear some DirectX affecting in there. Again, I'm a music producer. My ears are constantly listening to this kind of stuff while I'm mixing music. So we'll skip on a little bit and hear a little bit more of this. Okay, so we again on a different video hear the exact same sound, like as if maybe they recorded the video audio from another one, like I'm actually can do right here is record the audio from any YouTube video I want, and then could layer that over. So we'll jump to another section. I don't know if there's anything bright on this. They may have buried it a little further. Nothing there. Here's another one.
It's really deep.
Now, I did clean that audio up earlier, and those guys, there's a couple of guys standing there in hunting jackets, and they're actually looking up in the trees while the sound is going on. But actually, what they're talking about is they're looking for some specific bird because they're hunting. Okay, so we have enough video, or excuse me, we have enough audio here to have heard this. So I'm going to take this off record, and we'll just go back and listen to some of the bits. Back recording here now, and you see me running my mouth right there in the waves. Start this and we'll listen. So we'll run back, and then here's one bit. A little dead air here while it winds up. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so and then here's the next one. A little bit, you know, the big rumble. Ooh. Okay, so we've got all those video sounds that we've heard here. Now, here's the little thing I'm going to show you. We're going to mute this out, and we're going to go into the Sony Loop library, where I've found many of these sounds. Okay, some of them are reversed. You can do all kinds of interesting things. Okay, here's the Pandora's toolbox with Sony library. Here's one of the sounds. And I'm going to punch down to some of these sounds, and you'll hear elements of these sounds on these videos we've been seeing right here in these. So we go to Neptune, Thrum's Drippy Fingers. Oh, wow, what's that? That's the exact sound you're hearing on a couple of them. So we're going to add this to our track here. And we're going to have to wait, of course. It's low sample area, so I've got to post filter this. And it's not going to change it at all. All it's doing is making it able to run in this Cam Studio and you able to hear it. So, you know, I go to the loop properties. I remove the looping capability. Now we got this muted. And, you know, here we go. We hear play, so you see that I did not change anything to it yet. Alright, so we got that, and then we can take and we can mix down to the file that specific, or excuse me, we want to do this. We want to mix down to another track, very specific. This is all very easy, folks, very easy to do. Selected wave, I'm going to mix it there, okay, and I made a mistake, sorry. We're going to mix down empty track. I did it right to a file. Again. Anyway, selected wave. Okay, puts it in a track here. I can drag it up here. I can select the whole wave. And, of course, somebody's got to call now. Nobody calls me all day long unless I'm trying to do something. Hold on. Can you take this? Every time I try to do something, the freaking phone rings. All right, so we'll take that wave, and then we're going to go to the effect, and we can reverse this. Now you see the wave went backwards on us. Now we got two waves here put together. And I can run them. All right, now we have the exact sound. We have that very exact sound we've heard on several. Now there's another one that we're going to mix in there to get the bass. Again, these are publicly available loops. As you can see, I have all these loops here that I use for sound effects when I'm doing soundtracks for movies and TV shows, etc., etc. So here's one. It's called Cinemascapes, and I'm going to go into the loops, and I'm going to look at some of the textures and beds and thematics. And I did find one that fits in well. It's this one, atonal. Okay, so I'm going to drop that in there. Yes, I want to drop that in there, and we're going to filter out and give it a second. Whenever working audio, it's always a miserable pain in the butt. And doing Camtasia Studio, it probably just crashed. No, it didn't. I hate Camtasia Studio. It's hugely, monstrously pain in the butt. Needs a ton of memory. So let's get it down here so I can look at all these. I can turn this down a little bit so it's not so overwhelming. So off we go. So there we got a couple more of our bits. Then we'll go back into the wave library, wave from file. And we have several others in here that could be, you know, pitched in there. Get those audio sounds. Okay, so let's see. And here's some thematics. See, I don't think there was any of those in there. No, nothing like that. There's a field manipulation. You know, this kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at, you know, and these are called field beds, which you use also when you're making soundtracks for movies, and you'll have them, you know, anybody watches a movie is probably sure you hear stuff like this down underneath. So anyway, now we got our 3, and now this is just for all the, you know, heralding trumpet sounds we're always hearing. As far as the booming, that's very easy. All I got to do is loop up a bass drum and put some stuff on it. So now I take these 3 loops, I put them together in a mix, and what I want to do is I want to mix down to an empty track all the waves that I have selected. Okay, now I delete the ones I made, I drag, and then what I can do is I'll make a loop duplicate. Let's make 4 of them. Okay, now we got a bunch of them, and I can take and do a little bit of overlay here and create even more confusion, so to speak, over what's going on. We'll drop some of it to give us the sound. Now we're going to mix down again. We're going to pick all our waves, mix them all down, mix down to empty track, selected waves, because we don't want the video ones that are up there getting into the mix of it. Now we can go up here and we'll have even a little bit more fun with it, so it sounds ambient and like it's part of the giganticness of outside. Now a lot of people don't realize that outside doesn't have reverb, because the sound continues forward. It doesn't bounce back at you, and that's another part I have a problem with these videos with the sound, is there seems to be a reverb effect on them. And only reason what reverb is when the sound bounces back to you at a very short distance, and depending on how big your room, you get an echoey effect. So we're gonna go down here and we'll put a little reverb, and we'll put a nice medium hall crisp reverb on there. Excuse me, reverb. Okay, now we got our sound, and all I got to do is go outside and take a video of anything. You know, all these videos I've seen, it isn't like any of them was like, oh, they're doing something or whatever. I mean, some of them, they run on it like picture of their yard, and then suddenly the sound comes in. You know, if you were videoing this or heard this outside and decided you wanted to video it, it would have already been going on. You go outside and video, not make the video, and then, oh, wow, there it is. I was just nonchalantly filming, you know, the handlebars on my motorcycle when there it was, or some growing grass in the field. So here's our wave with all those mixed together. Now, and you've seen pretty much anybody with some basic mixing knowledge and how to use something like Cool Edit Pro or Cubase or any of those mixing programs could do this. So here we go. So there's the full gist on that. We can get rid of all this here. And if you notice, I want to show you something. Waveforms line up, and waveforms always look the same. And there's one element in the waveform from one of the videos. If you see this one here, if you look at the waveform element there and look at the waveform element here, you see the exact fingerprint. This is how they fingerprint people's voices. There are certain elements that visually compare up. And if you look at that, and you look at that, you see the same double, you know. So it's very possible. I'm not saying this is 100%, but it's very possible that the first video that was made used this particular Sony loop library. They manipulated a little bit, added some cool stuff to it. You could do, you know, I could go in and get some drummy sounds or of any sort. You know, I have all these, like I could put you know, we got all these sounds. You know, see, all these things are completely available. You know, you got these drones here. There's one. There's an EBO, which is a little electronic thing you hook to your guitar. Yeah, and there's one right there that we've heard in the one in Russia or something. So we'll sample that on in and toss it in the mix, and I'll trim the keyboard sample pad off of the back of it. God, this video is going to be huge. I'll get the sample pad off of the back of it as soon as it gets done here. And I'm not going to edit this video out at all. I'm going to leave it as is, so because I don't want anybody, going, oh my gosh, you're manipulating this and that. Because personally, I think it's not me that's doing the manipulation. So I can down that a little bit. This, of course, is turned way down. We're going to turn it way down some more, knock the loop properties off of it so it doesn't come back at us. And we'll just kind of mix it in the background there. So here we go again. Let me mute the original from the videos so we're not getting that mixed in. Alright, so now we almost got it perfect. I just found that wave there in the library. I've never heard it before. So that's my thinking on this is we've got one video that's been out there for a while where somebody's done this, and now other people are recording that video audio like I did up here and then applying it to their own video tracks. One of them says the dog's clearly upset or whatever, but anything could be upsetting the dog. My dog, every time a storm's coming, it freaks out and hides under my desk. So again, YouTube, just because you tried doesn't mean you don't deserve any criticism or anything. All these people making these YouTube videos, yeah, great, you're getting lots of hits and Google clicks on them or whatever, cool, fun. We're all at the horror movie. We all pay, $8 to go to the movies and, $20 for popcorn. So, I don't really see anything wrong with it except for the fact it's creating this huge stir of irritation that we're trying to, my job is to get the BS and the distractions out of all this kind of stuff so we can find any kind of real truth if we got something we need to be aware of. If our need for awareness is big enough or too big, what's the point anyway? We got heavy mass objects and earthquakes and polar flips and shit, and the ship is sinking, the economy's going down. There's 900 reasons to be getting prepared for whatever it is you might be afraid of, or anybody might be afraid of. There's a lot of reasons to do that. Mostly on my course of thinking is because when this economic collapse, God, I hope it never happens. But, if it happens, the cities are going to be the first to fall, and it is going to be freaking chaos worldwide, folks. So, all right. Well, thanks for listening. It's the first YouTube video I've ever done of this type. I usually just put up my radio station, blah, blah, blahs, and all the great hosts that we have over here at Revolution Radio. Be sure to tune in. www.freedomslips.com. Thanks for listening.